Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter here. I've got another review here in the Real Holiday series for the one of my personal favorite Christmas episodes, period. It's season 6, episode 13 of The Office, the Secret Santa episode, which was written, as much as crap as I give her, gotta give her credit where it's due. Mindy Kaling wrote this episode, and this is an incredibly uncomfortable but amazing episode, as is the season 2 Christmas episode, the Office Christmas Party. But this episode in particular, I think, is better than that one, and I'll get to why here in just a bit. So the episode itself starts off with Jim and Dwight trying to get everyone in the holiday spirit, which I actually thought was really sweet. Dwight having his whole diabolical plan against Jim. He even says to start the episode that his diabolical plot is on hold because he loves the holidays so much. And I was like, oh, Dwight occasionally has a soul. Go figure. At this point, Erin is working in the office, played, of course, by Ella Kemper, who I really enjoy on the show. I just don't think they ever really knew what to do with her, which is a problem they have with Andy, too, but that's a whole other thing. But Andy has a crush on Erin, and he's trying to show her how he feels and that he does care about her. So he gets her to 12 Days of Christmas. And something that this episode brings up, that's a really good point. If you were to get someone the 12 Days of Christmas, you'd be basically getting them 30 birds to start off like the first 8 days. So these birds have gone ahead and like pecked at Erin. She comes in with like a bandage on her face because she's been cut by these fucking insane birds going after her. It's pretty dark when you think about it, but I appreciate that Andy has so little game that he thought that was a good idea. Like not one extravagant gift or even 12 small gifts that don't involve birds attacking you. But I love the fact that he's that dumb, but he means well. I love Dwight dressed as an elf still. That I think that's the thing they pretty much carry on through every Christmas episode. But this is Secret Santa. Actually Secret Santa done correctly, unlike in the last Christmas episode. So there's a couple storylines here. So Oscar has a crush on this guy in the warehouse. There's this great scene where Pam is talking to him and she's just saying shit to see if he notices because Oscar is looking out the window checking him out. Pam even goes, I think my water just broke. And Oscar goes, oh, that's too funny. It's like, wow, okay. Oscar is absolutely smitten. And while Will and Grace gets a lot of credit for its representation of the LGBTQ community, which it well deserves, do not misunderstand, I really appreciate the way that Oscar, as much shit as Michael gives him, as uncomfortable as Michael is with Oscar's sexuality and addressing it, Oscar never doesn't feel confident in who he is. Like, he might not feel confident just because he thinks he can't measure up to the person. But as far as his sexual identity, that's never in doubt. It's something that he owns and that he owns with pride. Pun not intended. But I really appreciate that about the show. And it really is just Oscar being smitten, not knowing how to talk to him, not being awkward or anything, but just not knowing. And I can't recall how long it was since he broke up with Gil, who they talk about throughout the show and actually show a couple times on screen. I don't recall them saying how long it'd been since the breakup. I kind of wish that Daryl would have brought that up because Daryl is the one working with him in the office, on the guy that Oscar has a crush on. So the crux of the episode is not only do we get Secret Santa, but Phyllis asked Jim, I believe 2 months in advance, or no, 11 weeks in advance from Christmas, if she can be Santa. Phyllis has always wanted to be Santa. Phyllis even has this really emotionally sweet kind of moment with the camera where she talks about how it's been a long journey, but I'm finally Santa Claus. I was like, that's really cute. And you want to see, Phyllis do well in the role. But unfortunately, The Office has a Michael Scott. And again, I just have to give immense credit to Steve Carell, because when he's playing Michael for Uncomfortable, my God, does he nail it. It's a true skill that Steve Carell has, and hopefully we get more of that in Space Force Season 2, because Season 1, which you can listen to the review of, not his best performance, but Michael is doing everything to upstage Phyllis. He has Kevin sit on his lap and even ask, what do you want, little boy? Like, no one's ever told me, no one's ever let me sit in their lap as Santa. And so Kevin pretty much freezes and has no idea what he wants. So he tells Michael, let me just start with what I don't want. And you see Michael straining under Kevin's weight. And it's so mean, but it's really funny just how much of an absolute asshole Michael is. Michael even says, you know what you get for Christmas? You get 1,000 helium balloons attached to you, so Santa doesn't have to go through this again. Like, it's really fucking just mean shit. And what I love about Phyllis wants to be Santa. There's no doubt about it. She's willing to basically fight Michael to be the office Santa. She even goes into Jim's office and says, look, like, I'm Santa, right? And he's like, yeah, you're Santa. And she even goes, don't make me get Bob Vance involved. And Jim goes, what? And she goes, nothing. I shouldn't have said that, and walks away. And Jim even kind of looks at the door like, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, I was talking to O to the J about this. And I gotta say, if there's anyone you wouldn't want to mess with, it would be Bob Vance with Bob Vance Refrigeration, or Vance Refrigeration, pardon me. But I love, though, how much he actually clearly cares about Phyllis, but threatening to just sick your man on someone because you can't be Santa, that's a little extreme. So Michael, of course, just cannot help himself. He keeps there's a point where he's trying to pull Ryan away from Phyllis, because Phyllis has this like nice chair where people are sitting in her lap with a Christmas backdrop with like a snowman and everything. Michael still cannot help himself, so they put it to a vote of who's the office Santa, and Michael gets outvoted. He goes ahead, takes a Santa hat off, puts it into the punch, which I looked at OJ and I even told him, I was like, you know what, dude, if my boss did that, I would be grabbing a cup of that and pouring it on their desk. Like, that is the most childish fucking thing in the world. And it hurts your head with just how incredibly shitty Michael is being, because he's going out of his way to be a grade A asshole. He even says, Michael even says, it's not like I'm begging people to buy me diamonds and brooch pendants. Like, he's being insane. So he turns his Santa suit or his Santa jacket inside out. He turns it inside out. And here, maybe the line of the episode where Michael goes, if you want to take away being Santa from me, fine, go ahead. But when you need my help because I'm ruining everything, don't look at me. Which is just so incredibly confusing to try to break down from a logical standpoint. I actually had to pause it and go, wait, what? So he's acknowledging that he wants your, what? It really, really hurts my head, but in the best way. So Michael comes out dressed as Jesus Christ, which he still has the beard on, by the way, which I went, if you believe those terrible drawings of white Jesus, which are clearly not historically accurate, it would make more sense for him to not have the beard, and yet This is where we are. It really made me laugh, but Michael is going through and just being an absolute dipshit. Stanley is getting a gift from Santa Phyllis, and Phyllis even goes, I decided you've been a good boy this year. And he goes, I have. I can't do Stanley's voice. I have. There you, there you go. And Michael goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you've been good except for cheating on your wife. You're going to HELL double hockey sticks, as Michael says. And just these things where you go, the level of just pettiness, it's almost a superpower. It's weirdly impressive in a way. Now, if I had a boss like this, there's no way we wouldn't be in the shouting contest a week in. But it really is incredible, because then when Michael's being a dick, he goes and calls David Wallace, because of course he would, because again, a child. He goes and calls David Wallace, and then you find out that the company's being sold, and the board's going to have to listen to all these offers because the company is broke. And Michael has this great line of, first the office needed Santa, then they needed a second Santa, then they needed Jesus, and now this office needs a Michael. And that is one suit that Phyllis can't fit into. Again, just the level of pettiness really is incredible. But the thing that this show does so well, and it's always done well, is just when you want to choke Michael or throw him out of a car, a moving car, obviously, he does something sweet. And what he got for Dwight, a literal nutcracker, it's a really sweet gift that he gives him. And he'd been giving Dwight these pieces of it like over several days. And you kind of go, you know what? As terrible and shitty as Michael is, that is a really thoughtful gift, and it's something Dwight will remember. He even talks about, I could smash walnuts, hazelnuts, and he even goes, snails. Like it really does show that Michael does give a shit when he wants to. He's just a terrible person, which we all kind of knew. But getting my final thoughts, though, this is probably the nicest Dwight is in any of the holiday episodes. It's kind of surreal. Seeing him singing Boulevard of Broken Dreams with Andy was actually really funny. Was actually really funny to see. I got a good chuckle out of Jim getting Kelly and getting her the Edward poster from Twilight New Moon, as someone who watched all the Twilight films in a row in theater with my sisters. New Moon is one of my least favorite films of all time, and seeing that poster just made me go like bad flashbacks. But I absolutely adore this episode. This episode's so much fun. It's a solid. Actually, I'm gonna give this an A+. I wouldn't go fan-fucking-tastic for this, but I give this a solid A+. It's one of the better, if not the best, Christmas episode or holiday episode that they've done. And I just enjoyed the hell out of this episode. So, well worth your time, season 6, episode 13. But everyone, what's your favorite Office episode? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. You can like us at The Real Pineapple. And don't forget to like our gaming page at Real Pineapple Games. Don't forget to follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and rate. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio, TuneUp, and Amazon Music at The Real Pineapple. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll have reviews, more holiday reviews coming up here soon for Batman Returns. Batman Begins is not a Christmas movie. Batman Returns is. We'll have a review. I think I'm going to re-review Iron Man 3 because it takes place during Christmas. Shut up, it's a Christmas movie. We'll have reviews as well for Muppet Christmas Carol, Elf, and Die Hard. And we'll have some other reviews sprinkled in there as well, including one on day one on Christmas Eve, or Christmas Day, for Soul, as well as for Wonder Woman 1984. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Take care of each other, wear a mask, and we'll talk to you soon.